May the 4th be with you all, and what a way to start Star Wars Day with these two episodes of Maul Shadow Lord to finish out Season 1. I'm of course going to be talking about Episode 9, Strange Allies, and Episode 10, The Dark Lord. Spoiler alert, yes, I'm going to of course talk about spoilers in this review because, oh my god, so much happened. I gotta say I like the way that they handled the title reveal of the final episode, because when they initially revealed the episode titles, I saw episode 10 finale. I'm like, that's not the name of it. But then when you see the episode, it's like The Dark Lord, and that would be a spoiler. So of course they waited to reveal that in the episode itself, because yeah. Hi, Darth Vader. I'm going to talk about him, of course. But first of all, I just want to say this is going to be a slightly different review because I'm going to be talking about the two episodes. I'm going to talk about my thoughts as a whole over the season and also what I think will happen in Season 2. So a bit more of an extensive review, but I feel it's necessary. Anyway, episode 9 starts off with Maul contacting Dryden Vos about an escape plan. And I was disappointed that it wasn't Paul Bettany because Paul Bettany has a very iconic voice, I think, especially because we know him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe as, first of all, Jarvis and then Vision. Like, that voice is very iconic, and also him in Solo, I think, you recognize that voice, so I was very disappointed to hear a different voice. I'm like, oh, come on, why did you not get Paul Bettany to voice the character that he played in the movie? Like, come on. It was at least nice to have that connection to Solo, a Star Wars story, even though that movie is set several years from this point in the timeline. Having that connection I do think is important because we've already been establishing the crime syndicate storyline throughout this season, and this establishes it even more so, and I think that will be interesting to see in Season 2. But Maul has lost a couple of his forces recently and he needs some help, so he contacts or reaches out to Devon in some kind of weird force connection, and Daki asks Devon about that, like, hey, what the hell happened there? And I think it's like Devon and Maul are developing some kind of a connection in the Force that reminds me a lot of The Last Jedi, where Rey and Kylo Ren have like Force Skype sessions, and yeah, it seems that Devon and Maul are also developing that kind of connection, which is like an interesting thing to see that move forward as well. So the two groups meet, and of course they team up to get off of Janix together. And yeah, then we get an action sequence, which is a pretty cool sequence. It's just Maul by himself showing off, and I feel that's quite typical of Maul.
That still only counts as one!
But yeah, it's cool to see that, and then they go a bit further into this underground passage, and this is an excellent sequence, and so much happens. It's intense. We lose a lot of characters, by the way. In addition to the nameless Mandalorians, we actually lose Spybot, and that hurt me. That really hurt me. Like, when I saw that, I actually needed to pause the episode for a moment because I was getting emotional of Spybot, and I did not expect to be that emotional over, this little shit droid, but I actually really like Spybot, and I'm like, the fact that he just has this little soft master, and then he just goes into the acid, I'm like, oh my god, it's heartbreaking. I did not expect to have that much of an emotional reaction to it, but my god, that was rough. Also, the other Zabrak brother dies. He goes out fighting, though. He takes several troopers with him in the process, even though he's been shot at several times. It's like, okay, that's a pretty cool death for him. But I very much like how in this sequence, like, every character gets something to do. Spybot does something, the brother does something, Rakas does something. Of course, our lightsaber users do something. So everyone gets something to do, something to shine, to actually be important in the crossing of the passage. And the action, once again, is intense. There's a simple need to get across, like, you understand why they need to get across. There's an urgency to it. So all of this just makes sense, and I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but the writing is just really good, really solid. Like, you understand what's going on. It's easy to follow. The action is great. So Very good sequence, honestly. And God, I still am not over the fact that Spybot died. I kind of had the feeling that it would happen at some point, but man, the moment that Inquisitor blade goes through him, I'm like, no, not Spybot. It was heartbreaking. It really was. I also found it interesting that the moment that the Lawsons are across, they, of course, start shooting, but they shoot with stun shots instead of kill shots. But that's actually kind of clever because they don't want to hit the people that they're with. They just want to try to hit the troopers, people coming after them. That was actually kind of smart because initially I was like, why are they not using kill shots? Well, that's why. But anyway, the group that survives then gets out of that passage. They go into the jungle and we get Darth Vader. And I don't even care about the fact that it's a little convenient for him to appear there so quickly after he was contacted by the Inquisitors. I don't care. It's Darth Vader. And I feel that Darth Vader has been handled so well ever since Rogue One. You know, the moment he shows up in Rogue One, it's like, oh my God, it's one of the most iconic moments. This moment right here actually reminded me a lot of Jedi Fallen Order. When he appears at the very end of Jedi Fallen Order, it's like, oh my God. You hear him breathe, he steps through the fog, and he has become a horror villain at this point. Also, just the way that he pulls Rook into the fog to kill her off. Another one of Maul's forces to die, damn. But, man, it's mind-blowingly good. It's mind-blowingly good how they're handling Darth Vader. It's insane. But I also just love how Vader is fighting Maul, an ex-Sith Lord, and Daki, a Jedi Master, and Devon, all three of them at once with just one hand. He's like, nah, this is no contest. What are you doing? Of course, as the fight develops, he does use two hands a couple of times because he kind of has to, but yeah, it's not really a match. Vader is way stronger than the rest of them, and they realize that quickly because also, Vader does one force push against all of them, and the three just blow back. Later in the episode, Daki and Maul both force push Vader, and he just gets pushed a little bit. And he's like, yeah, I'm still good. I'm fine. Absolute power that Vader has is just, oh my God. That is the correct way to display Vader. It's, oh my God. And I'm also pretty sure that this is not the only fight we're going to get between Vader and Maul, because this is part one of 2-3 fights. Because the thing is, at this point, Maul also doesn't really know who Vader is just yet. We know in Star Wars Rebels, in Twilight of the Apprentice, Maul says,
I cannot defeat Vader alone.
And based off that quote, Maul knows who Vader is, and he knows that he will not be able to face him because he's faced him before. And he knows that he needs help. So we're going to get more fights between Maul, Vader, and, well, also Devon in the equation. I'll get to that in a little bit. But speaking of Devon, she is absolutely fearless when she takes on both the Inquisitors at once. Because she is just, trying to get to the ship, or to the Lawsons, let's be fair. And the two Inquisitors just show up in front of her, and she's like, okay, lightsaber, let's go. And she holds her own for a little bit. Of course, not too long. She does need help. And also, awesome move from Daki to throw the lightsaber so that she has it in time to block. Oh, God, the way that these fights develop is so good. It's so awesome. And yeah, we see Devon slowly tapping into more force powers that she shouldn't tap into, at least according to Daki, because she is starting to fight with the anger and the rage that Maul is advising her. But of course, Devon gets separated from Maul and Daki just long enough so that she doesn't see that Maul actually pushes Daki into Vader so that Vader can just kill him off. And then, when he does kill him, that is when Devon sees it. So, as far as Devon can see, Vader killed Daki. Maul had nothing to do with that. But of course, Maul did have something to do with that. Maul, you are a dick. What a dick move. I understand why he did it, but... And I was kind of expecting him to do that, but oh, what a dick you are. And the only other person who sees this is Lawson, but he dies as well. I saw that coming the moment that Lawson had a heart-to-heart with his son in the previous episode when they're on the skiff talking about, not being there Riley's like, well, we've spent a lot of time. I'm like, oh god, you're dying. Yeah, so Lawson sacrifices himself going into the fog, which, by the way, going into the fog, and considering that Lawson knows something that's kind of important, he might come back. I kind of hope he doesn't, because I'm always against the entire idea of a character seemingly dying, but then appearing out of nowhere at one point like, oh no, I'm not dead. I hope that Lawson is dead after that, because he got blasted left, right, and center. Like, he shouldn't be able to survive that, but hey, you never know. Maul has come back in Star Wars. A lot of characters have come back, so I won't be surprised if Lawson shows up again, because he has a very important piece of information that Devon might want to know. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, the moment that Devon sees Vader kill her master, that's when she loses it. She taps into her rage. Of course, she conveniently loses her blue lightsaber so that Maul can hand her a red lightsaber. I think that's very, like, showing of her transition to the dark side, that she is now fully locked into the dark side because she has used her rage to fight against the Inquisitor, also hurt the Inquisitor. I'm curious what happened with both Inquisitors, because Merrick is just pushed off a bridge and, like, he will appear later at some point. Sure. And the Crow gets hurt in his leg and just fucks off, and it's like, okay, we'll see you later, I suppose. So yeah, they all get off the planet in the end, or at least some of the characters do. So I think it's the absolute perfect ending to have Maul and Devon sit next to each other, and all that Devon says is, I'm ready. That's the end of Season 1, and that is a perfect ending for Season 1, setting up Season 2. I cannot wait for it. I will have to wait for it, though. We will have to wait a while. I don't know how long. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. It will take some time, but I know for a fact that I'm going to be rewatching Maul Shadow Lord Season 1 several times, because this was a great season in general. I think this is a great season as a whole. I love the animation. It's beautiful. Like, look at the animation. It's absolutely gorgeous. The voice casting is great. The characters are compelling. They make smart decisions. But the Empire is also a threat for a change. Stormtroopers can actually hit something instead of missing all the time. Like, the pace of the show as well, it's relentless. It just goes and goes and goes. There's not a moment to breathe, really, but there are some moments when it's a little bit more quiet and you do get moments to breathe. But, like, it's fast, it's intense, the action is great, and something is just constantly happening. It's happening all the time. And also, like, even if certain things play out the way that you think they'll play out, there's always a bit of a curveball. And at no point did I think that the show was, like, truly predictable. There are some predictable things, and there were certain things that I could see coming, but the way it played out is still like, oh, that's interesting enough for me to not be like, oh, this is boring and predictable. I don't mean that. I thought at every single point throughout this entire show, I was invested in what was happening, and what a great show. I can't wait for Season 2. But as to what I expect from Season 2, first of all, I think that Devon will be the canon equivalent of Darth Talon. Because, of course, Darth Talon is in Legends, a character. If you don't know her, look her up. But it's a Twi'lek with, like, the same markings as Maul. Darth, of course, indicates the Sith status. Of course, Devon won't be a full-on Sith, I don't think, at least. I think Maul has very much tried to stay away from the true Sith way, even though he does very much live by their rule and by their code. But yeah, effectively, what Kylo Ren is to Jacen Solo, like, Kylo Ren is the canon equivalent of Jacen Solo, I think, the same way that Devon will be the canon equivalent of Darth Talon. And I'm curious to see if Maul will take Devon to Dathomir, because I do have the feeling that Dathomir has to come into play at some point, but it's very much a question if Dathomir is going to be visited already in Season 2, or if they're going to stay on a different planet. But yeah, either way, I do think that at some point it has to come into play. But in addition to that, I'm also curious about the crime syndicate storyline, because of course it has been set up in Season 1 when, you know, Maul went to the Pike homeworld, and we already have the ties with Crimson Dawn. I have the feeling that Maul is effectively going to be like the overlord over all the crime syndicates, Crimson Dawn, the Pikes, and all that kind of stuff. But he's going to remain in the shadows, because the last time that he tried to be the overall crime lord of all the crime syndicates, in the Clone Wars, Darth Sidious came after him, and I don't think he wants that anymore. So he's going to stay in the shadows, like lay low, just do his own thing, but he is going to be the overlord of the crime syndicates. And I'm curious to see how that plays out in the next season. As for Rylee and Two Boots, they just lost Brander, and I have no idea where they're going to go from here, because, yeah, they are fugitives from the Empire. They are in league with Maul. They are with Maul and Devon, and it's like, Rylee and Two Boots have nothing to do with Maul whatsoever, and they should not have anything to do with him. I don't think they're going to join with him in any way, shape, or form, but then the question is, what are they going to do? Is Rylee going to contact his mother again to, like, get with her? But that would be weird, because she is Imperial and they're trying to run from the Empire, because I don't think that she's going to be too happy learning that Two Boots and Rylee are effectively fugitives of the Empire, the entire organization that she works for. So that is very much up in the air what's going to happen there. But I think I've said everything I wanted to say, and now I just wonder, what did you think of all of this? Let me know your thoughts on these two episodes. Let me know your thoughts on Season 1 as a whole, and let me know your thoughts on what you think will happen in Season 2 in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel for more Star Wars content. Later today I'm going to do a live LEGO build of this set, Cassian Andor's U-Wing from the Andor TV show. I look forward to putting this one together, so look forward to that. Also, I'm going to continue with my Mandalorian reviews. This Saturday I will do a review of episode 7 of season 3 of The Mandalorian, still leading up to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, so look out for that. Please leave a like on the video, and of course, until the next time, may the Force be with you.